Hi everyone, Nick Credicos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and you're watching me on Hometalk. First, we're going to start with this 9-foot flocked garland. So you can pick these up from Walmart. This one was $12.98. So we're going to start by dividing this up into a 3-foot section. You can essentially just rip off the packaging, and it's as simple as that. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to measure out approximately 3 feet. It doesn't have to be exact, but in doing so, what ends up happening is you're able to come back in and cut another 3-foot and another 3-foot section and add these above each door or window. So now that we have about a 36-inch piece of garland, look at how awful that looks. So one of the best tips I can give you is to always fluff out your wreaths and your garlands and your Christmas trees. It just makes it that much more full, that much more realistic. So to bulk up this design, we're going to use some of this silver and lime green bay leaf. This is actually Dad's favorite product that we have. And what we're going to do is we're just going to break them to a bunch of smaller pieces. So once you snip down one bay leaf and your hot glue is turned on, what we can do is hot glue the ends of these stems and just work them right into the garland. So our hot glue is somewhat melted at this point, but the edges always warm up the fastest, and you can absolutely start using them at this point. So that leaf that broke off at the bottom, not going to be an issue. That's just going to be used to cover up even more of that frame. So we're just taking these, holding them at the tip, hot gluing them in place. So our final piece of that bay leaf we'll place on the end. So that's enough for me. I don't want to overdo it with this product. One thing in floral design that I've learned over the years is to know when to stop, and when it starts looking good, call it quits and then move on to your next product. You can always come back in with additional pieces later on, but you don't want to get too heavy-handed with any certain product. Now we're going to work in some shatterproof ornaments. These are between 80 and 100 millimeters, and we carry these in stock in all sorts of colors. But this particular style is one of my favorites because it has that faux mercury glass effect. Can you see that? It's absolutely beautiful. And what you can do is you can either just cut off the hanger, because it does come with a little metal hanger, or you can just pop off the top. Once you cut off that string, you can actually just keep the top on and just dip it right into your glue skillet, and it works just the same. So we'll just start by placing 3 of these in. Like I said, you can just pop off those tops and then just poke them in. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to have a couple facing forward, a couple facing backwards. That way we have depth and we don't have them just in a straight line. So here's our third one of this that we'll place on this side. Winter here in Massachusetts is a very, very long season. So we can get away with using snowballs and snowflakes and the icy colors up until, honestly, like April. So here's a new spray that we just got in stock. I love these little balls on it. They look like snowballs, and they also have a little bit of glitter as well. So we're just going to break one down, like so, and we can start hot gluing these in place too. So to hot glue these, it's the same exact process. Just dip them in your glue skillet and work them in. And that's just going to add a different visual interest, a little bit more contrast, working in some whites as opposed to just strictly silvers. So just continue to dip and work them in wherever you feel is necessary. You can also have some sticking out a little bit more 3D. You can also use the branches from the pine, the flocked evergreen pine, to kind of bend the stems and keep them in place. So I don't want to overdo this either, so we're just going to work in a couple more pieces to finish off this design. So now we just have this very narrow ribbon, and what we're going to do is just create several loops. We don't need too many. We'll just do one loop with a set of tails. We'll just snip off that ribbon. And then I'm just going to take a little leftover piece of pipe cleaner. And I'm just going to take that little pipe cleaner and wrap it around. I'm using a black pipe cleaner today to show you guys. But if you have the choice to use white, by all means do so. But just by taking that and wrapping it around, dipping it in your glue skillet, you can poke that wherever you find it necessary. And it just adds a nice little touch of ribbon without overdoing it. So I'm a firm believer. You can also cut those at an angle or dovetail. Choice is up to you. But I'm a firm believer that ribbon doesn't have to be added in bow form in every design. I know some designers love adding a bow to everything. I'm definitely the opposite because I think little touches of ribbon like this really can do the trick and do a better job without taking away from the rest of the beauty you've worked in. So we'll take another little piece of pipe cleaner. If you have one new pipe cleaner, just cut it into about 4 or 5 pieces. Twist it secure, dip it in your glue skillet, and just poke it in. So to make this a little bit more natural, a little bit more woodsy, we're going to use some of these twigs with the pine cones. So we have these in stock as well, and I think they're the perfect touch to finish designs and give them that natural approach. So we're just going to trim off some of these twigs, all different lengths, and we're going to poke them in, and by working them in too, we're going to be a little bit more strategic and have them placed upwards. That way they kind of give the illusion of height and make this design a little bit taller. So whether you place this on a table like I'm going to do, or you place this above the door, and keep in mind too that 3-foot length is the perfect length above a door. Doesn't matter where you live in the country or the world, it's the perfect length for above the door because most doors have about a 3-foot space above. And you can also kind of make a 12-foot one too. So we're making a 3-foot version today, but if the rules apply the same to a 12-foot garland. And by using a 12-foot garland, it does extend a little further past the edges of the door. I prefer my garlands to be on the shorter side. And so this piece is a little long, so we'll just snip that off. I'll take the leftover piece of it and poke it in a little bit deeper. This piece too, I just want to cut it right above that pine cone, and then we can take this and distribute it further. The more you cut your stems into smaller pieces, the more you're able to take them and work them throughout. So if you are on a budget, or if you're only dealing with a certain number of products, break them up. You're able to space them out a little bit better. So see that difference just by working in a few twigs, and we have one more twig off of that spray that we can just pull right off and place where we need. So I'll take our final piece and I'll place it right here. So that's going to do it for this. Now I'm going to place this on my table and give you the final reveal. Okay, so I just placed my garland on top of my buffet table, and look at how pretty this looks. So this is such a universal design. Like I said earlier, you can place this above a door, you can place this above a mirror, you can place this going, along your staircase, above your fireplace, running your dining room table, on your kitchen table, on your coffee table. The possibilities truly are endless, and the great thing about this garland is that it's wired, so you can just cut off a length, you can cut off, a foot to make a wreath, you can cut off 3 feet like we did here, longer, shorter. The choice is up to you and what project you're working it into. So thank you all so very much for watching. This is Nick Creticos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and you're watching me on Hometalk. Bye, everyone.